Round 6 of the NRL for footytips.com.au. Brett Kimmorley alongside Sam Bruce. Brett, big game on Friday night to kick off round 6. Broncos and Roosters up there at Suncorp.
Yeah, it should be a massive crowd. Obviously, the Broncos have won their last 4 games. They were poor in round 1, but have certainly turned that form around. Their attack has been not overly great. I think Anthony Milford is starting to show some good signs of he's finding his feet in Brisbane. They haven't had to score too many points because they've been defending very well, which sounds like a Wayne Bennett coach side. The Roosters probably on the back of a massive kick up the bum. They were very poor against the Sharks last Sunday. Their attitude seemed to be disrespectful for the Sharks, and they got sort of caught out. So Jared Waerea-Hargreaves returns to the side. They'll get that physicality back. I think the coach would have been a bit more intense this week, and I think the Roosters will upset the Broncos at Suncorp.
Also on Friday night, it's the Sharks and Knights down there at Ramonda Stadium in the Shire. The Sharkies, they're up and away. Yeah,
they've got something to be excited about again. Obviously, on the back of the Nines' success, there was a bit of a buzz in the area. They started none from 4, and now they've got their first victory. So Jack Bird was a shining light. You know, he was outstanding for the Sharks. He keeps his 5'8" position. Ben Barber has been named on the bench, which you understand why. Valentine Holmes kept the fullback position. So exciting things there for the Sharks. And what they did really well is they just completed some sets last week. They're a physical forward pack, so they just grinded out a victory. I thought Newcastle were really poor against the Dragons. I thought they struggled up there at home. They had won 4 in a row, but I thought they'd really come back crashing to earth. I thought Jared Mullen was extremely poor as well. So the Knights need to respond, and they need to probably beat someone with some credit. And I think the Sharks will be full of confidence, and Ramonda, so they'll be tough to beat.
First up on Saturday, it's the Eels and Titans at Pertex Stadium. The Eels, they're pretty tough to get a read on at the moment.
Oh, play at home, you can't beat them. Play away, they're an easy beat at the moment. Their away record from Pertex Stadium is disgraceful. I think it's about 14% of games over the last few years they've won away. So it's obviously such a mental state. They enjoy playing at Pertex. There's obviously a good atmosphere created there, and they feel much more comfortable playing at home. Obviously, they get a few players back because they had Manu Mao played in the centres last week. They had some outside backs injured. They were brave against the Tigers, and they probably gave up the win themselves through some errors at the end of the game. So I think they'll play well. I think they'll respond because Brad Arthur seems to be a pretty cranky bloke that gets a response. On the back of a loss, they get intensity back and they get a good victory. So the Titans are that unknown side. You know, I think they're just rebuilding the football club. There's a coach there that's trying to rebuild. Kane Elgey keeps his spot. I just can't see the Titans competing. If the Eels turn up with physicality and play well, I just can't see the Titans beating them.
Warriors and Tigers over across in Auckland also on Saturday afternoon. The Warriors had that loss to Melbourne, while the Tigers, they were pretty impressive, especially big Paddy Richards.
Yeah, that's right. Some freakish football. It's nice to see ad-lib football. I think the game is a bit predictable and we scored too many tries on the back of just simple crash over or just crossfield kicks. So it was exciting there for some of the Tigers fans. I think that's what you want to see. Brooks got his first try. Tedesco obviously got some free flying back in those legs. So Tigers again are a very good defensive team. Some of their attack is starting to fall into place. Where the Warriors, they were probably a bit unlucky in the first 40 minutes against the Melbourne Storm. You just can't give the Storm that such big of a lead. The Warriors do tend to play better at home. They're a good side that likes to play at home. Both these sides played Monday, basically in Australia. So the travel turnaround, everything's exactly the same for them. So I think the Tigers, on defensive effort, will go over there and get a sneaky victory.
Panthers and Manly out at Pepper Stadium are two sides that are really struggling the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, powerhouses really. We were unsure how Manly were going to go. We were unsure whether this was going to be their year. The halves had signed elsewhere and there's some dramas there. Tom Trbojevic is a shining light. He played for him last week, made his debut and kept his position. They've just got too many injuries at the moment. Manly, they seem to be out of sorts. They're not playing extremely well. And Penrith were a bit unlucky on Monday. They had some calls go against them against the Cowboys that sort of affect the rhythm of the football game and everything like that. So no Jamie Soward for another month, and it certainly shows that kicking game builds pressure for Penrith. He's not there. I expect Penrith still to be good enough at home against Manly and get a victory. What does Soward's omission mean from that Panthers side at the moment? Sekiago and also Peter Wallace struggling for just too much responsibility? I think it shows that they can't manage a football game. I think Sekiago is a terrific dummy half runner and plays off the cuff, and Peter Wallace always had someone more dominant than him his whole career. Darren Lockyer ran it at the Broncos, and then Darren Lockyer retired, and the Broncos struggled for a period of time. So I think Peter Wallace needs to step up now, certainly at the end of his career, or the older part of his career, and manage a game plan. Jamie Soward's great passing game. I think Jamie Soward's composure in his kicking game knows how to manage a game. That's what the Panthers are missing at the moment. Canberra and Melbourne down at GIO Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Always a pretty tough battle, these two, in the nation's capital. Yeah, they have. They've had some big upset victories, the Raiders against the Melbourne Storm. For some reason, you don't know why. But Canberra off a win as well last week. It's amazing in football what a victory does to your confidence. Confidence turns into better performance, and you start to have a bit of belief. And training's a bit easier on the back of a victory. So Obviously Sam Williams come in for Mitch Cornish last week and just built a game plan, steered him around. I still think Blake Austin's been the shining light for the Raiders. I think he's done a wonderful job as going there and being the standout 5'8". He wanted to play 5'8", and he's putting his hand up to Ricky Stewart and showing that he is a star. Obviously Melbourne Storm, they're just clinical. They are the best team at executing set plays. I thought they pulled the Warriors team apart last week with some set plays, good execution. I think the Melbourne Storm will get this one, but I think it'll be a very close game.
Sunday evening, the Dragons and Bulldogs out there at ANZ Stadium. The Dragons, they played the first 2 games and we wondered if they'd ever win a game this season, while the Bulldogs, they had that drama last week on Good Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Paul McGregor, it's all about defence. He keeps speaking about how well they're defending, and defence is all about attitude. So, the Dragons were very good against Newcastle. They didn't concede a point, which doesn't happen too often in the NRL. I don't know how many points they're able to score. They still have ineffective ability to score tries, and that'll be matched certainly against the Bulldogs side that backs against the wall. A club like that, they love this culture that they've created. Adversity they love. They certainly respond very well. They've got a lot of players missing. So Graham's out. Cassiano's out, Clemmer's out, and Morris is out. They do have some depth in the football club. Tony Williams will come into the side, Frank Pritchard's still on the bench. And a guy I thought last year that was outstanding, Corey Thompson, gets a chance back on the wing as well. So on the back of being backs against the wall and the Dogs' culture that you do know, I think the Dogs will beat the Dragons.
Is there a better coach in the NRL than Des Hasler in this type of situation?
No, he did it so well at Manly, didn't he? It was us against the NRL and everything else, and they won a premiership on the back of that. He's successful. He knows how to coach. He knows how to put things aside. And I would be expecting a great performance from them on Sunday night.
Wrapping up round 6, it's the Rabbitohs and Cowboys out at ANZ Stadium. 2 teams coming off wins.
Yeah, that's right. I think for the Cowboys, it's really important they get some long recovery. Going back to North Queensland every week, it's a tough travel for them. They played last Monday in Sydney. They've gone home. They prepare well and they come back. I think they've turned the corner, the Cowboys. Obviously the forward pack themselves have found some momentum. On the back of finding some momentum, you allow a halfback like Jonathan Thurston some time to ball play. If he's got time to ball play, he's still the best player in the game. They've been scoring tries, they've been executing plays, and they've got that resilience back that they think they can win like we thought they would at the start of the year. South Sydney, well, they lose Adam Reynolds. That's a massive blow for South Sydney. His kicking game is very good. He builds a lot of pressure through that. But they do get John Sutton back. John Sutton comes back, the former captain. He'll play 5'8" again. Luke Keary moves to the halfback situation. So they don't lose too much in attack, but they lose a lot in their kicking game. I think the Cowboys have turned the corner, and I think Jonathan Thurston, 3 man of the match performances in a row, and will get a victory for the Cowboys.
Just running through your round 6 tips again, Brett.
We'll go the Roosters and Sharks on Friday night, and then we'll go Eels, Tigers, Panthers, Storm, Dogs, and we'll round up Monday Night Football with the Cowboys victory.
Thanks, Brett. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Sam.